Kadarius Toney had surgery on his knee. What does it mean? We react on the Chiefs Report. What's up, guys? Harrison Graham here with another episode of the Chiefs Report. Like I said, Kadarius Toney, knee procedure after banging it up, returning punts before the first camp practice the other day. Andy Reid announced the news today that Toney did have a cleanup surgery on his knee. Here's more from Big Red. He says, there's a chance for the first game in terms of when he'll be back. We'll just have to see how the recovery goes with him. But, I mean, he's bound and determined he's going to be there for the first game. I'm glad they caught it, that it happened this early where he can get himself back. We've got a lot of time still left. He's a smart kid, so he picks his stuff up fairly easily. Don't think he's going to have a tough time getting back in. It's just a matter of getting back into football shape. I mean, my immediate reaction to him having surgery is obviously not ideal, right? You don't want anybody getting hurt and having to have a procedure 6 weeks before the season like Kadarius Toney is here. But, you know, I think there's a half-glass empty approach, which is Kadarius Toney seems to always have something going on. This is frustrating. I think that's all valid. I think what's also valid is it's still July. It's not like a major procedure like an ACL tear. This is a partial meniscus tear, and there's a chance he'll be ready for week 1. At worst, you would think week 2 or week 3. But again, it's kind of like, well, it's another thing, right? Like, he's had a lot of injury issues dating back to college. For whatever reason, he doesn't seem to be on the field all the time. So not an ideal situation, but there's kind of two sides of the coin in terms of how you can look at it. What is your one-word reaction to Kadarius Toney having surgery? Weigh in, Chiefs Kingdom. Let me know what you guys think down in the comments, your one-word reaction to Toney having surgery. My one word is unfortunate, because it's unfortunate that he's had injuries early on in his career, and it's unfortunate for the Chiefs too, because, look, there's a reason the Giants moved on from this kid so quickly, because injury concerns and at times was a concern in the locker room. Now, the second part of that hasn't been an issue up to this point with Kansas City. He seems to be on board in the Chiefs culture and be a good teammate and do all those good things. Now, I think he can have his shenanigans on social media sometimes, which I personally don't love. But if it's not a distraction for the team, I don't think that's necessarily a big deal. But the reason it's unfortunate more than anything else is the Chiefs are banking on Kadarius Toney. This is why I was banging my head on the table to sign DeAndre Hopkins, because going into the season with Toney as your potential wide receiver 1 is a bit risky given his track record. I mean, the guy has less than 600 yards and 2 touchdowns in 2 NFL seasons. In one season, that's not anywhere close to wide receiver 1 numbers. Like, we like to joke about Juju Smith-Schuster. Oh, he's this, he's that. Guy had 78 catches and almost 1,000 yards last year. Like, if Kadarius Toney did that, I think we'd be pretty damn thrilled at this point. So, you know, it's unfortunate. We'll see where it goes from here, like Andy Reid said, but hopefully he's ready to go. Now, you look at the early part of this schedule. Obviously, Toney will have a few less days than most players in the league to get ready for week 1, because that is Thursday Night Football against the Lions. Then you go to Jacksonville week 2, so you got 2 tough opponents out of the gate. Chicago at home week 3, that should be a pretty manageable one. At the Jets week 4, at the Vikings week 5. Broncos, Chargers, Broncos, Dolphins in Germany, and then the bye week, and then you look at the rest of them here: Eagles, Raiders, Pack, Bills, Patriots, Raiders, Bengals, Chargers. But looking at those first couple of weeks, you know, maybe you hold them out the first 2 weeks, ease them in week 3 against the Bears. We'll just have to wait and see when Toney is ready. Hopefully it's sooner rather than later. Now, we have you covered here on the Chiefs Report when news drops. When Kadarius Toney has surgery, we're going to hop on the channel and bring you guys a video reaction to it. So subscribe today. It's youtube.com/ChiefsTV, the latest news and rumors throughout Chiefs training camp. Now, Patrick Mahomes talked about Kadarius Toney as well. He said his head's in the right spot. He came in with the mentality of he was going to work, and he tried to get himself better, and obviously he had the little injury happen, but I think the best thing about it is he can get it cleaned up, and, you know, that's kind of how they've described it. It's just a little cleanup surgery, so we'll see. It kind of sounds like one of those 6 to 8 week deals, and that kind of puts you right in the headlight of week 1. Like, we'll see if he's ready to go, but now you look at the rest of this wide receiver room, you're like, okay, who's going to step up? Marquez Valdes-Scantling, he's never been a wide receiver 1 in this league. I don't think he's that type of player. Sky Moore, I think he's a good player. I don't know if he can be a wide receiver 1. I think Rashee Rice could. He's had a strong camp so far, but that's asking a lot out of a rookie. Richie James has had a good start to camp, but next man up mentality. I mean, that's all you can do, right? Like, I think that's something the Chiefs have been good at over the years. Is yes, they're very talented, but they've had some injuries throughout this run, and other guys have had to step up. But this was the one position I was like, you don't have that top flight guy. You don't want to lose a Kadarius Toney, and now at least at this point, you have lost him for at least a few weeks. Now, two guys I'm keeping a close eye on. Rashee Rice and Sky Moore have looked very good during training camp so far, especially Rashee Rice. I mean, you can see why they drafted him because he's making contested catches. He has strong hands. Mahomes seems to have a rapport with him already. As far as Sky Moore goes, it seems like he's taken the next step in this offense. Late last year into the playoffs, he kind of seemed to start to figure things out, so maybe he's able to take on a bigger load as well. I think those are two young players that, hey, opportunity, man. Like, Kadarius Toney, your potential wide receiver one, is on the shelf for a little while. Rashee Rice, Sky Moore, other guys, your chance to step up and make an impact on this football team. Justin Ross, that's another name I'll throw out there as well. Now, which wide receiver needs to step up the most with Kadarius Toney out? In terms of need to, I would say like a Justin Ross who's on the roster bubble. That gives him a chance. In terms of who I expect to, I think Sky Moore and Rashee Rice, I think they're ready to go. So let me know what you guys think. Drop a name or two in the comments. Okay, let's look at some Kadarius Toney replacements now. And look, even if he misses a regular season game or two, I don't think this is going to be something that lingers, a month or two into the season. But didn't want to take a look at some free agent options that are available. Let's start with Julio Jones, who played with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers last year. Certainly isn't what he once was, but pretty solid red zone option. If you want to bring in a quality vet in here, I think he could fit that bill. He's had injury issues of his own, but I think would at least offer a lot to a wide receiver room. Jarvis Landry, different type of player, more of a slot. Doesn't have a ton of burst at this point, but smooth route runner, vet, knows how to get open. Again, different type of player, but two quality veterans there that at least bring something valuable to your locker room. Kenny Golladay. Is Detroit Lions Kenny Golladay out there? Because that player was pretty damn good. Giants Kenny Golladay, he kind of sucked. So I don't know what the deal is with him at this point. He was really bad in New York. He was great in Detroit. Can he get some of that magic back? Could work him out and see what's going on there. Sammy Watkins, former Chief, if you want to bring him back, take a look at him. That's an option as well. I was going to mention Byron Pringle, but he signed with Washington to reunite with former OC Eric Bieniemy, but Watkins is still out there. I think he's pretty cooked, but you could take a look. T.Y. Hilton, who I thought was cooked, and then last year signed with Dallas late in the year, actually made a few big plays for Dak Prescott. So, as a vet speed option, he's out there as well. But no one available in free agency is going to be expected to be a major contributor, right? Like, you just need guys from within to step up. If you want to bring one of these guys into your room, sure, let them compete, but at the end of the day, you kind of got what you got. Hopkins was the one guy who you could sign that could have a big impact, but now that player is not available. So name a receiver that you guys think the Chiefs should sign. If you don't think anybody, just type none. Say, hey, we're good to go. We'll roll with what we've got. Drop that name or don't in the comments section. All right, guys, appreciate you for tuning into today's show. As more news drops, we will continue to keep you guys updated here on the Kansas City Chiefs Report. So subscribe and turn on those notifications. We'll see you guys tomorrow.